So this is a depiction of a map of Egypt inside of the book, right? So a map of Egypt. So, and I want to show you Florida, Egypt. Okay, and then this passage talks about the palm trees, right? It talks about it being the wilderness of sin. Wilderness, wilderness, wilderness. See how it says wilderness all over it? Okay, it also points out the mountain peak of 7,000 feet. And then over here, Google search, Florida mountain, 7,000 feet. You have to read for yourself. Okay, it talks about how God sent quails in this book, and not on this page, but it talks about quails being easier to catch at night because they're exhausted. So the Israelites were able to capture the quails. That's in here somewhere too. Okay, so first murmured. That means there was crying and complaining. And then they sent quails. God sent quails, and manna fell from the sky. Manna is inside of the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, and then Moses used a rock to make water because he was filtering the salt water that's in Florida to make drinkable water for the Israelites. Okay. So if that's not enough proof for y'all, I don't know what is. And to add that Florida's state bird is the mockingbird. And they decided, trying to find it for you guys real quick. They decided as of 2021 that they were going to, here it is, the flamingo is in the running to replace the mockingbird as Florida state bird. They were mocking God, and this is why they constantly get the bad weather, because they were making a mockery of God when God was trying to help the Israelites get through the land with Moses.
Civilization in the West is older than any other place on the planet. Yes, older than Africa. I'm going to say that one more time. Civilization. I can't tell you. I'm not arguing where humans started at, because there was no Africa and there was no America. Those are terms applied now to places that did not have those terms in the past. But what I am telling you is, the out of Africa theory is fraudulent. All right. Africa became what's called a genetic bottleneck. You know what a genetic bottleneck is? Just imagine this. We had a big catastrophe in the West Coast, earthquake, destroyed all the civilization, and then we all migrated south and went, let's say, to Trinidad and Tobago, Colombia, Guyana, and we restarted civilization from there, but we were originally from here. But some stuff got messed up. Over years and years after that, people might think that we're from Guyana because we moved. But then they start discovering older stuff in those other places are more advanced. They'll be like, oh, okay. So what I'm saying is the markers of civilization, the most ancient ones, are here in the West. This is what I'm saying. And all of us did not get to North America as a result of a slave trade. Some of our ancestry did, but that is not the predominant part of it. And there's a whole missing link that does not discuss the black indigenous history, our people being here before not only Europeans, but before the common people who are called Native Americans. Because they are not the descendants of the people who made this calendar that I'm talking about, that's the oldest in the Western Hemisphere. They are not the descendants. The oldest genetics on the earth was found in the Western Hemisphere, and in my home state, South Carolina. And the genetic haplogroup that was present did not match the A haplogroups in Africa perfectly. It had markers on it that were not present on the ones in Africa. So when you think about your most recent common ancestor, and when you look at the genetic studies that talk about this, those most recent common ancestors between that A group here and the A groups in Africa go back 17,000 years to their most recent common ancestor. Some geneticists put it at 70,000 years. So had those genes been interacting in Africa, we would see that AOO haplogroup and all of the chains that were present there. We didn't see that, and you can go study those particular studies. My point is the oldest genetics was found here. The largest amount of pyramids on the planet are in North America. The oldest bone structures on the planet found here in the Americas. The more scientists, geologists, archaeologists began to discover the antiquity in the Americas, most of them got blackballed and were pushed out of their professions because the gentry and the elite amongst those groups of scientists did not want to break away from the theme that had been painted by their predecessors. My point is, you need to learn your history. You need to learn your heritage. Because other people have assumed your position, and that's a terrible thing that somebody can walk around and vulture your culture and call you a culture vulture. That ain't cool. We out.
Alright, so you guys like maps, right? Check this out. So this guy right here named is Nicolas Sanson. He was a famous French cartographer, and he was so good, in fact, they considered him to be the father of all French cartographers. And cartographers are just basically people who design maps, like official maps. So this particular map right here is a map of Florida in 1657, and it has a lot of clues on it. But right now, we're just going to zoom in on this part right here. As you can see at the bottom here, they're showing aboriginals of America. And not only that, but look what they're calling America. They're calling it Tamerica. America with a T? Wait a minute. Because see, when you go on Wikipedia and look up Egyptians, and then you go down to the history, they're saying Egypt was known as Tamari.